My music collection, the letter C. Kicking off with Eric Clapton, one of my favourite guitar players of all time. Of course, we have the Beano album here, the Blues Breakers with John Mayall, an absolute classic. This is probably the album that created the lead guitar tone that we know in heavy rock and hard rock. Anything from Led Zeppelin to Guns N' Roses to Aerosmith. They all copied Eric Clapton's style. A Gibson Les Paul through a Marshall stack. So there we go. It's an absolutely brilliant album. Classic playing from Eric on this one. Then we move on to his time with Cream. I have Disraeli Gears, which is a great album. Sunshine of Your Love, one of the best rock songs of all time. Strange Brew as well is on here. Tales of Brave Ulysses and Swalabra. And We're Going Wrong and Outside Woman Blues. So plenty of great stuff on there by Eric Clapton. Moving on to Derek and the Dominoes. These are all Clapton albums, hence the reason I have them under C. This is a double album. Sees Eric Clapton move into a more kind of country, Americana, southern kind of vibe. Still with his songwriting, and he's got Dwayne Allman helping out on this one with slide guitar. And of course Bobby Whitlock on keys and pianos. Jim Gordon on drums and Carl Radle on bass. So yeah, top-notch album. Of course, the classic song Layla on this one is brilliant. Moving on then, I don't have much of Eric's 70s or 80s stuff, but I have Unplugged from, is it 1991? 1992. MTV Unplugged. This one recently got a remaster, and I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but yeah, it's a good album. It's kind of onto the folky acoustic side of things, blues acoustic, but it's not a bad album. This one here from 1994 is called From the Cradle. It's a covers album and it absolutely rocks. This is Eric in fine form on this one. Yeah, lead guitar playing is fantastic. Then we move on to the first Eric Clapton album, or best of I've ever gotten. The first one I bought, Clapton Chronicles. Was bitterly disappointed when I heard what a great guitar player Eric Clapton was, and then I bought this album and listened to it. It's a lot of the hits from his 1980s material that he wrote with, Phil Collins, and Phil Collins produced a lot of them, but a lot of it is kind of, cigar rock or whatever you want to call that. It's just very pedestrian. Then you've got the 90s hits like My Father's Eyes and Tears in Heaven, and the unplugged version of Layla is in there as well. There's a live version of Wonderful Tonight in there, but yeah, it's not a great compilation, to be honest. It's not a place I'd start off with Eric Clapton. Then we have Reptile, which is a decent album. Again, it's kind of bluesy and acoustic. This one here then is a tribute to Eric Johnson. It's called Me and Mr. Johnson. It's actually quite good because a lot of the Robert Johnson, I should say. A lot of the Robert Johnson stuff wasn't released properly, as in like remastered and cleaned up. So Eric does a great job at, playing these songs and playing homage to one of his heroes, but also paying respect to that great material from Robert Johnson. Then we have the live Cream reunion album from 2005. Of course, I think they had 3 or 4 nights at the Albert Hall. Yeah, between the 2nd and the 6th of May 2005. And they go through all the hits from Cream on this. So you've got Crossroads, White Room, Sunshine of Your Love, Born Under a Bad Sign, I'm So Glad, Outside Woman Blues. It's all on here. Absolutely brilliant. And the only thing I don't like about this is Eric Clapton's tone on his guitar. He uses a Fender Stratocaster, and in my opinion, when Eric Clapton is playing Cream stuff, he needs to be playing his Gibson, especially a Gibson Les Paul. Okay, I've got this double compilation album. It's just called Complete Clapton. And this includes hits from his whole career. So you've got the Cream stuff, I Feel Free and Sunshine of Your Love and White Room. Crossroads, Live at the Winterland, love that version of that song, absolutely brilliant. And Badge, of course. You've got Presence of the Lord from Blind Fate. Then you've got a lot of his 70s stuff. You've got Bell Bottom Blues and Layla from the Dominoes. And then you've got some stuff from his first acoustic, or his first solo album, and also some of the stuff from late in the 70s, like Knocking on Heaven's Door, Cocaine, Lay Down Sally, Wonderful Tonight is on here as well. And then you move into the 80s and 90s stuff, Pretending, Bad Love, Tears in Heaven, Layla, as I mentioned previously. So yeah, it's a good compilation album. It's actually a good place to start if you're getting into Eric Clapton. And then I have this album from 2010. I went to see Eric Clapton on that tour. That was the first time I'd ever seen him live, and I decided to go pick up his album for that tour. It's not a great album, to be honest. So there you go. As you can see, I'm a big Eric Clapton fan. Moving on here, I was actually my brother-in-law was throwing out albums, and this one, the Essential Leonard Cohen, was with it, so I picked it up. Haven't listened to it yet, to be honest. I have Coldplay's debut album, Parachutes, and after this I really wasn't a big fan of Coldplay. Another one I got gifted when my brother-in-law was throwing out his collection was The Corrs Unplugged. Now, I actually owned this back in the day myself and lost it, but the reason I bought it was because like the Corrs are an okay band, you know, they're a kind of an Irish folk pop band. They did release an album with Mutt Lange, which is very well produced and kind of pop rock album. But it was songs, for me it was songs like Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. They covered that, and of course they covered Old Town by Phil Lynott. So that was the main reason I bought the album at the time. But yeah, it's not great, to be honest. And I haven't listened to it since it came back into my collection. And then the last one I have on C is the American rock band Creed, who have reformed, and of course this is the original members from Alter Bridge are in this band. You've got Mark Tremonti on guitars and vocals, Brian Marshall on bass, Scott Phillips on drums, and then the lead singer on this band is Scott Stapp. This is their 1999 album, My Own Prison, and it's not bad, you know. It's a bit moany, to be honest, you know, but it's a decent album from that time. And I think it was only like €1, so that's why I picked it up. But there you go. That is my collection for the letter C. Let me know in the comments below if there's anything I'm missing, or if there's any of the stuff you think I have here that I should throw out. Please let me know in the comments below. I love hearing this feedback, whether it be good, bad, or ugly. And if you like the video, stick a like on it. If you could also subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already, I greatly appreciate it. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye for now.